And now allow me to go to the other extreme. True evil in the world. There's a great deal of it. You all know how human beings can treat other human beings. You see now what is happening in Bosnia, what is happening to the Kurds, what is happening to so many people. And you've heard about the millions that were killed by the minions of Hitler and Stalin. How can human beings treat other human beings like that? And I think there's the mistaken idea that there are a number of sadists, brutes about, and that we can recognize them. That if you had been in Germany in 1940, you could have picked out the thousands of people that worked in concentration camps. My friends, I don't believe for a moment that that is true. I don't believe that you can pick out and say these are the truly evil people. Not too long ago, I read the autobiography of a fellow, Rudolf Höss, who was the commandant of Auschwitz, where hundreds of thousands of people were gassed. And it's a shocking autobiography. He wrote it after the war. He was interviewed by many psychiatrists. And what comes through is here is a tremendously average human being of a very religious Catholic family. He rebelled against his family. He joined the German army as a boy of 16, the Nazi Party at 19. The man who wrote most about him said in an ordinary life, Rudolf Höss would have made a very efficient manager of a post office. What made him different is not that he was marked as a brutal, but that he had no imagination. He couldn't put himself into the position of the other guy. He believed when Hitler said, these people are animals, we have a right to kill them. Lack of imagination. I remember as a boy, a story that I'm sure many of you have heard. It's a story of a man coming to his rabbi very discouraged, and saying to him, Rabbi, I am so discouraged. No matter how hard I work, I will never, ever be as able as Moses. This is terribly discouraging. And the rabbi said to him, Sam, you know, when you come to the heavenly judge, he isn't going to ask you, Sam, why weren't you as great as Moses? All he's going to ask you is, Sam, why weren't you as able as Sam you could have been? That is the key question. My friends, I believe that a total education should prepare you for a better life as well as for a better livelihood. I think you can be able scientists, competent engineers, good doctors without a liberal arts education. But I do believe, I'm quite certain, that you will not be as great and as wise as you might be. And I'm certain that without it, you will miss a great deal of fun in life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bader. Dr. Bader has agreed to answer any questions that you may have. So we'll open up to the floor now, and just please raise your hand.
What have you been doing yourself besides buying castles since you got to go on to do the liberal arts and engineering?
Well, until about 2 years ago, sorry, until about 2 years ago, I worked for a chemical company that I founded back in 1951, and I will be speaking about that tomorrow noon. They kicked me out, and since then I've been spending my time 3 ways. 1/3 working on an autobiography and enjoying it. 1/3 finding really good paintings and selling many of them. That Rembrandt I mentioned, I sold to the Rijksmuseum. I found a wonderful Rubens, sold it to the Getty Museum. And 1/3 trying to help chemists and small chemical companies, particularly in North America, in Britain, and in the Czech Republic.
Anyone else? Yeah. One more time?
I'll ask a question. You have a great admiration for Queen's University, and I think Queen's is probably representative of many universities across Canada. They're running into problems with the education system right now. There's not, it seems to me, a great deal of respect for higher education or education for the sake of a liberal education, as you refer to. Do you have some thoughts on how the concept of higher education and liberal arts education can be perhaps expanded throughout society, and how people who are involved with university education can perhaps give that gift, the wonder that you talk about, the refreshness of your mind that you refer to. How can we pass that on?
Well, you must understand I'm not a professional educator, but perhaps Principal Smith would. This is what is known as passing the buck, but you would surely be able to answer this much better than I could.
You're doing wonderfully, Alfred.
Well, it is, of course, a very difficult question. The fact is that today education is more accessible to more people than it has probably been ever before. And of course, our hope is that the Hearst-Sioux Council will allow Canadians to get to know far more of Britain and Europe and mingle with a good many other students. Our hope is that it won't simply be a group of Queen students who go there and then come back only having talked to each other, that they will really learn a good deal about other students. You might have gathered from my first answer, I'm very interested in trying to help Czechs, because the Czech Republic, I think, is a very fine country, and they've been treated terribly, victims of geography, too close to Hitler, too close to Stalin. And now they've had 40 years of communism, and we hope that Queen's will allow us to establish some fellowships for Czech students to come to mix with Canadians at Hearst-Sioux. But these are very specific solutions, not all-encompassing, as your question would really demand, but I'm not a professional educator, 32 years of teaching Sunday school notwithstanding.
Anyone else? Any questions?
What do you hope the castle to be used for? You know, if you had unlimited, it could be anything that you want it to be, what would the castle be in your mind for Queens?
Well, you must understand, again, we are not professional educators, no professional administrators. we're leaving this completely to Queen's University. I don't think that I have just some romantic vision of Queen's being a wonderful place. I believe that it's reality, that it really is a wonderful place, and I think that Queen's will succeed, but I'll leave this completely to Queen's. This is really a question that you should ask of Maurice Yates, who is here.
Anyone else? Okay, if there aren't any other questions, I'd just like to thank you once again
Thank you.
for your enlightening lecture. I think we've learned quite a bit about your own personal philosophies in life. I think a great deal of many people have realized why you gave the castle to Queen's. I know so many people have asked me that. Why would anyone do that? But now we know. And also how important both arts and science are to people. And that each individual has to find their passion in life. At this time, I'd like to ask Isabel Bader to come up and join me on stage, please. This is just a small token of our appreciation on behalf of the students, so I don't, either one of you can.
It's Isabel's birthday.
Oh.
Oh, wonderful.
On behalf of the Arts and Science Undergraduate Society, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out tonight and supporting the Baders and showing your appreciation. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.